Hey, long time no see, but this one's been years in the making. So, um, basically what we got here is a retrospective look at Shark Tale, um, and how the film has aged over the last couple of years, and how I think it was the film of the decade it came out in, as well as this decade, the next decade. I'm sure that you're starting to see a pattern here, that this movie is classic. It's not a joke. It's not gonna peter out like a lot of the critics have been saying. They've been saying these things. I would say, um, unjustly. Things have just are not the way they should be right now. The state of the critic industry is completely lobbied and funded against by movies like Frozen, and the propaganda such as Frozen, I should say, and other propaganda flicks like The Good Dinosaur, which came out, which is an absolute disaster and an awful movie. And movies like this shouldn't be made. It's a disgrace to what used to be a beautiful industry, which is the animated classic industry. And apparently, the machine needs some new screws or some new gas or anything, because that machine's been pumping us some duds for the last couple of years or so. We never got Shark Tale 2. We never got a prequel to the Shark Tale movies. We never we never got any follow up or anything else, and it was honestly a great big misdirect from, I believe, Pixar at the time. I believe they knew that they were building this hype around basically something that didn't exist, a pipe dream they were selling us. And for all of us shark freaks out there, all of us, all of the ones who loved the tale, who've been telling the tale to everyone they know for years and years and years, almost like making a complete fool of myself, touting how great this movie is, when there's been no follow up, and there's been no appreciation of the people that have been respecting and trying to keep this dream realized. And it is not okay. It's not okay, because I feel like there's a lot that could be done. There's a lot of things that I would do differently if I was the one running the 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 Pixar franchise, or at least one Pixar franchise such as the Shark Tale, because I believe there is a market for these movies, and it's almost crazy that they're not making these, or at least making some sort of, what with Star Wars, you get all these prequels and spin-offs and all this, honestly, bull crap, and golden stories such as Shark Tales, as it does not even get a single spin-off. I'd love to see what Lenny's doing. I'd love to see a prequel for jellyfish. And I'd also love to see a side story, maybe another special features for the shrimp. This is this is getting this is getting this is getting to be almost too much for one little man to bear. This is not what you're wanting. And, so honestly, there's that out of the way. But now I can jump into the retrospective, looking back on, because now I'm in a very good, very lucky position right now to inform, someone who's been a huge fan, and whose life the film has had a tremendous impact upon, and I can speak upon how that has actually shaped me into a man. It actually turned me into the person that I am now. Such such lessons as, be who you want to be, is the real takeaway from that movie. And looking back now, there are so many more deep themes that this movie explores. Perhaps the most prominent one would be the underlying homosexual undertones of the male relationship between Oscar and the shark Lenny, because this was there the whole time. And back when the market what had back when the market was not okay with telling such stories as those, these it's actually very clever how they snuck these very very potent and human and mature themes into the movie of betwixt the gags and the silly jokes and the hijinks and all the tricks our level main cast has been getting up to. And almost I'm going back to the point because they've been getting up to the same thing for the last 20 years or so. There needs to be more. There needs to be more of this because we're running out of time. So, for Shark Tale, my message to DreamWorks, Pixar, Disney, this this is a crying call. This is your last chance to make this reality, or you're gonna lose a very large group of fans who have been very dedicated from the start to your projects and your intellectual properties, and you've gone and disrespected those people. What with Cars 2? And now you're making a huge, even bigger mockery of how people will view the shark fans. And you don't want that. And you don't want that blood on your hands when the shark fans do rise up, and then they won't take. And then they won't take it anymore. And you got all the time in the world, and you got all the free time in the world to let me know what you're gonna do. Shark Tale, Will Smith, I'll be in touch, and very disappointed in you, Will Smith. You did not make a good choice with who you're married to. If I had my way, you would be married to the fish. So you've made a grave mistake, and you've crossed the wrong man. And Pixar, Will Smith, Angelina Jolie, Will Pay, Jack Black. I have not decided what to do with you. I have not decided what to do with you yet, but I will make up my mind very shortly. So watch your back as always. It's me, A- Ace Trainer Liam. No, Ace.